on people, and welcome back to another abnormal video. Today I've got 3 intermediate calisthenic skills I'm going to be teaching you guys. We're going to get into learning the tuck planche, you've got the front and tuck back levers, and last but not least you have the pistol squat. Alright guys, so we're going to start off with the planche lean. This is going to help you get that tuck planche. So what you're going to do is get into a plank position. You're going to turn your wrist slightly out so you're not putting a lot of strain on your wrist. And what you're going to do is protract, so keep a hollow body, and you want to stick your elbow pits forwards. So stick your elbow pits forwards, protract around the upper body, and you're going to lean as far forwards as possible. Okay? So that's the planche lean. At first, you won't be able to lean as far and you'll start to lose protraction. Over time, as you get stronger, you'll be able to lean further whilst keeping a hollow body position. Once you get a bit more comfortable with those planche leans and you can load the shoulder for a longer period of time, what we're gonna do now is try and get into a tuck planche position by keeping our feet on the floor. So I'll show you what it looks like. You're gonna again apply those same principles. So turn the wrists out, elbows pointing forwards, protract, and you're gonna lean and go on your tiptoes and just hold this position. You're gonna feel a lot of pressure in your abs and your arms, and then you're gonna go to failure. Okay? So that's gonna build up that whole time in that tuck position. Obviously it's not as tough as the tuck planche because you're keeping your feet on the floor, but what it's allowing you to do is get used to the load being on top of those front delts, because when you're in a tuck planche position, your front delts are firing, they're taking a lot of the load. Same with your biceps. Moving on, next progression, once those become a bit easier, you can then start to do some straight arm pressing. This is going to help build up your straight arm strength and it'll make the tuck planche a lot easier. So what you're going to do is get into, again, your tuck planche position on the feet. This time what you're going to do is just raise. So you're going to push through the shoulders, raise all the way up, and then come and control yourself all the way down into that tuck position. Okay, you're pushing through the arms. I'm not trying to use my legs. All the way up and control it, keeping that hollow, keeping yourself protracted into that bent position. So again, push through the shoulders, load them, control that negative all the way down. To make it a bit harder, you can extend the feet out. It's the same thing again. Push through the shoulders, lean forward, so leaning a bit more this time, leaning, keeping the protraction, and then coming down. We're getting there guys, nearly there to the tuck planche. Next up we have lift offs. So by now you should have a decent amount of strength to lift yourself off the ground. What you're gonna do is get into that tuck position, you're gonna raise yourself, and then come down. So you're gonna keep that protraction, keeping the knees tucked, and then coming down. So just going for little presses, again trying to do this with straight arms at all times. You don't want to bend your arms at all. So really raise that lower back as high as you can. Push through the ground. Tense your abs, drive all the way up. Now that exercise just there requires a lot of ab compressive strength and mobility. Some people may not have that, so obviously what you want to do is elevate yourself. This is going to allow you to get into that tuck planche position a lot easier because it requires less mobility and kind of like ab compressive strength. So same thing again with the lift off. All you're going to do is just try and drive the knees up and then come down, okay? Until eventually you can try and start to hold that tuck position or raise as high as you can and hold it. So once you've applied all those tips, the tuck planche should look like this. Alright guys, for our second skill, you will need to find yourself a pull-up bar. So if you have one attached in your house, then great. If not, then after this lockdown, you can practice the front tuck and back levers. So what you're gonna do is get into an active bar hang. So what that looks like, this is passive and this is active. So I'm just retracting it, keep myself upright. Just gonna hang yourself in this position. Once you're comfortable with that active hang, what you can do is start to do some reps. So again, we're just retracting the scapula, going as high as you can. You don't need to go as high as I can, even if it's a little motion like this, that's totally fine. What we're trying to do is build our scapular strength by retracting, bring yourself and our chest as high up as you can and pushing down. So you're going to depress and retract your scapula. This is going to help you be able to actually bring yourself and your feet into that tuck position, because a lot of people can't even raise themselves all the way up. Next progression guys, you've got hanging knee raises or leg raises. So again, keep yourself in an active position. You can bring your knees up as high as you can and then control all the way down. So knees up as high as you can, control all the way down. If that's too easy, again, toes up, control all the way down.
As you build up your pulling strength, you'll be able to bring your knees to the bar, or toes to the bar rather. So what you're gonna do is just bring the toes all the way up to the bar and then control yourself all the way down. So you get an explosive pull, toes to the bar, and then control yourself all the way down. Moving on to the next step, we have skin the cats. So by now you should have the strength to bring your legs all the way around. So what that looks like is this. You're gonna bring your knees all the way around through the gap and come back over. That's called a skin the cat. It's a great exercise to build up some ab strength, and also you get a little bit of hold time in that tuck position. So in the tuck front lever for a split second and then the tuck back lever for a split second. Now finally, you should have the strength to skin the cat, hold the back lever position, and also hold that tuck front lever position. So I'll show you what it looks like. You're gonna hold the back lever first, the tuck back lever. Just come all the way around. Hold yourself in this tuck position. So you don't want the legs to drop. Keep them nice and tucked. You feel a lot of pressure in your biceps. It's normal. In the chest and shoulders. That's your tuck back lever. Now you're gonna roll over now into that tuck front lever. So just lower yourself nice and slow into that position before dropping. And just retracting the press throughout. One last bonus tip for you guys. I love to train the back lever with the supinated grip. So that means my palms are facing me. This helps me with my planche training. It transfers over really well. So I suggest you learn the back lever using a supinated grip. So I'll show you what it looks like. The reason why I train the back lever like this, and this is how I learned the back lever, is because it puts a lot of stress in your joint and it builds up that straight arm strength required for moves such as the planche and other levers. So me personally, if you can do the back lever or train it supinated, it's just a way better way to learn it, and it will condition your joints really well so you won't injure yourself in the future. Last but not least, final exercise guys, we have the pistol squat. For the pistol squat, the first exercise you're gonna get into are chair pistol squats. For the chair pistol squat, you will need yourself a chair or find yourself like a low surface. All you're gonna do is get behind the chair, you're gonna extend one leg out, just squat down, sit down on the chair, and then drive up. You're gonna rep down on one leg at a time. Just control yourself all the way down and explode up. It's gonna get you strong off one leg. It's gonna test your ability and balance as well. If that's a bit too easy, what you can do is find yourself a lower surface. So now I'm gonna use this couch. As you can see, I have to go a lot lower. It's gonna be a lot more harder on this same leg. So all the way down, control it, and then drive up. So once again, control it all the way down, and then drive up. That's all you wanna do, guys. You wanna just find yourself a lower surface each time. Once the couch becomes easy, you can use a stack of books, so you're kind of slowly starting to decrease the heights of everything. So once you're comfortable at pistol squatting from a low stool or chair or any lowish height, what you can do is start to actually try to get into that full range of motion, that bottom position of the pistol squat. So you can either use a chair, or I'm just gonna use this desk. You're gonna put your hands on the desk, just lower yourself nice and slow, control yourself in this position here, and then what you're gonna do is help drive up using your hands all the way up. And then control all the way down again, and then drive back all the way up using those hands. So again, just using your hands to assist you slightly in that pistol squat position. But at least you get the full range of the movement, and you're building strength in that full range.
Yep.
Oh, Jesus. If mobility restricts you, if you're struggling to get into this bottom position of the pistol squat, then you lack mobility. It's a mobility issue. If you're struggling to keep the leg straight, or if you're up on your toe and you can't keep the heel flat on the ground, then you know it's a mobility issue. You need to work on your mobility in order to get into that bottom end range of the pistol squat position. One way you can fix this is to elevate yourself, so do the pistol squat on a chair. So by now, you should have a decent amount of strength for the pistol squat. All you're gonna do is just elevate yourself. You're gonna perform the pistol squat, come all the way down. If you need to, grab onto the chair. As you can see, my leg isn't coming as high because I lack that mobility, but it doesn't matter because I'm elevated. So you can just drive up from this position. So again, all the way down, and then drive up. This is gonna help build yourself, build strength in that full range of motion, even if you lack a bit of mobility. If you're struggling to keep your heel on the floor, it might be a case that your ankles are tight, you're lacking a bit of ankle mobility, or your hips are tight. So this is a great stretch I like to do. What you want to do is just turn your feet out. You're going to sink down as far as you can and just hold a wall. So what you're going to do is just want to sink as low as you can, dropping the butt as low as you can. Just going to help loosen up those hips. You can open them up, go side to side, and again, just helps you get into a deeper range. Okay. When you feel a bit more comfortable, what you can do is start to pull yourself in. Again, just loading front part of your shins. Builds a little bit of mobility. If you're lacking hip flexor strength and you can't keep your legs straight throughout the movement, then again, to strengthen your hip flexor, this is a great exercise. What you can do is find yourself a level or height which you feel like this is already quite tight. What you're going to do in this position here is keep your back leg straight and just start to extend and just lift and just hold. Just hold yourself in this position. Hold for as long as you can and then drop. That's one rep, that's your first rep. By doing this, it's going to build up that hip flexor strength. So when you come down to actually do the pistol squat, you can keep yourself and your leg upright in that full range of motion. You're so close now. By now you should have a decent amount of mobility and you should be strong enough to be able to go all the way down in your pistol squat position. What we're going to do now is momentum rolling pistol squats. So I'll show you what it looks like. You're going to come down in that pistol squat position. You're going to roll and then drive up, okay? Obviously working both legs all the way down, roll, use that momentum to drive up, okay? It's gonna make it a lot easier to drive from that bottom position, till eventually you'll be able to do it without any momentum, and the pistol squats should look like this. So that was the tutorial, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Comment down below if you want to see any other skills you want me to teach you guys. I've got loads of other ones I've got in mind, but comment below what you want to see and I'll provide it for you lot. Once again, as always, comment, like, share, most importantly, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I'll catch you guys next week with another video.